Hello, WCR Replays. This is Dredrick back with another audio commentary, and today we've got a pretty special program. I've got Ices on the line with me, and before I go ahead and cut into the main section of the audio, I thought I'd go ahead and let you guys know what's up. This was the first, the first real dual commentary I've ever done. So there are a couple issues. Namely, there's a bunch of dead space where I stopped for a minute thinking Ices might cut in, and then he didn't. And so there's just like 15 seconds of dead space. No, it's not that bad. But there are a couple points where it's kind of bad. By the way, get the first replay pause up in 2 minutes. I'll say that again later when I cut to the main track. But I'll be nice and give you guys a little heads up. So there's going to be a little dead space. But you're going to have to deal with that. It's not really that bad. The other thing that's a little annoying is a couple times there's a bit of echo when Ices is talking, namely at the very beginning and towards the end, but for the most part it's not going to echo. It's pretty good, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. And to make the silence more bearable, I edited in some random Nightelf unit death sounds when there's some silence, so you know, you'll just be sitting there, it'll pause for a second, you'll be like, hey, what the crap is this? And they'll just be like, oh, the demon hunter died. Lol, that's pretty funny. And then you'll be like, thanks, Dredrick, you made my day. And you know what? I try. So, let's go ahead and cut into the main section of the audio commentary, and I'll go ahead and turn you over to myself from like a week ago, because it took like a week to edit this whole thing, and I'm just editing this in at the very end of the process. So, don't forget this audio is copyright 2009 by WCReplays.com, where the go suits go to get better. Okay, here we go. We've got Ices on the line. That's right. We're doing the games, and we're recording with the Gosu himself, Ices, and say hi or something.
Yo, how's it going?
There we go. I figure since I've already been stealing the Fervade's drink of the day thing, I may as well steal his tendency to do dual commentaries. And keeping with that, tonight I am drinking generic soda, store brand cola, Go-To cola, for any of you guys that know what the hell that is. I mean, I probably don't. There we go. So the first game here is going to be paused at 1 minute, so I'm going to get synced up there. And we are going to be talking about Undead vs. Nightelf because, honestly, it's just a barrel of monkeys, and by that I mean really fun. and what better to do? So as soon as I thought of Undead vs. Nightelf, I think of Ices, because I mean he just like eats wisps, for Christ's sake. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, is teach you guys how to eat wisps without coming down with a stomach problem the next morning. So you can go to Tijuana and eat wisps, but don't drink the water. Bottled water is the way to go. So we're going to pause here about 1 minute. And Ices, anything you'd like to say about this before we start rolling with these games?
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm drinking cherry 7-Up. It's very tasty. And this is pretty much the first map is just a big gay fest on Elf.
That's exactly right. There's two real ways to play versus Elf. One is gay, and the other is not gay. But let's be honest, the gay is way more fun for the Undead. I mean, it's so much fun, and Twisted Meadows is like the gayest map out there, you know. And I mean, it's kind of a weird double entendre here, because yeah, you're gay in the elf, but you're having so much fun while you're doing it. You're just so happy. So anyway, now that we're at 1 minute here, let's go ahead and get this unpaused in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So if you notice, Ices is doing the typical crypt altar build. You of course need your ghouls to get lumber and press and whatnot. Get your tech going fast enough that you can bring your ghouls off to either multitask creep or harass the elf or whatever. And you also do need your fairly quick Death Knight to go screw with the Night Elf. Night Elf player doing very standard Ancient of War creep with a Demon Hunter. Twisted Meadows you have to watch out because he can go really 3 heroes effectively. The Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, and Warden are all very good on this map. Warden has become recently very popular because you can dual Ancient of War creep to level 3 very quickly, and make holy hell for your acolytes. So, Ices, anything to comment on the early game here?
Really all I have to say early game is that I send the ghoul and the acolyte out first, so I can see if he's AOW creeping. And then after that you can choose whether to harass his AOW creeping, or you could tech a lot faster since he is doing that.
Right. And by harassing, you mean pulling the ghouls off as opposed to waiting for enough lumber to tech, correct?
Yes.
You're usually not going to be able to get there in time to steal the big, what's he called? The brute? No, brute, I think? No, those are the level 3 ones. What's the big one called?
It's no brute, I believe.
Is it? No, it's the no overseer.
No overseer.
Right. Son of a bitch. That's right. Sometimes if you've got good position, they'll kill the, you might get like a warden or something. But that's kind of why they creep the overseer. First is because, as opposed to the no wardens, which if you were just creeping by yourself, it'd be better to kill those first because they die faster. But he doesn't want to risk losing that overseer. So yeah, that's how it goes. So you do have two options in the early game here. You notice that he got mana burned right at the start, like right when his DK came around. At that point, you can either do what Ice has done in this game, which is go for coil and try to go coiling wisps and having a ball. Slash coil, of course, one hit and then one coil kills a wisp. Or what is a pretty cool strat, and I think usually people will do this, at least more recently I've seen more people doing this, is if he mana burns you right off the start, you get aura first, and then you can actually do two things with that. One is go creep level 2 with your Death Knight, and you can easily surround the Demon Hunter if he gets too cocky in his harass. Or two, you can actually go grab some skeletons and just kind of run away from the Demon Hunter, since he can't really put too much damage on your Death Knight, since you're faster than him. You can play this cute game while he's creeping with skeletons and try to pick off like an archer, or go into his base and go for wisps anyways. But any comments on that, Isis?
No, not really. You just pegged that on the nail.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I like to nail things, be it women or Warcraft references. And I'm so cool that I have to tell, a couple hundred people this to make myself feel more secure. Right about now is usually when you'll see people starting to get cute with their ghouls, since, or maybe even a little sooner. Isis has about 400 lumber, and he's already started his tech. I think kind of the golden rule is you want to get about 200 lumber after you start your tech, before you go off multitask creeping or such. That usually will get you safe to start up your Lich or your Slaughterhouse or whatever right when you hit tier 2, and also be able to put up your Crypt during tech. Of course, the Crypt and the second Crypt in the graveyard went up at the halfway point in the tech, which means that he is going to be going for Gargoyles, which is the number one thing you can do to gay the elf with. And so, keeping with our theme of homosexuality in Warcraft 3, notice that pretty much all he's doing right now is he's not creeping, he's not really being productive, he's just teching and killing like random wisps and being a general nuisance to the Night Elf. This is always very fun, and you will be called a nerd, a hacker, or imbalanced bullshit Undead player. Or actually, we might throw in like maybe a bonus replay where Isis gets flamed pretty hard. It's quite entertaining. He actually sent me a bunch of these. So at tier 2, notice he's going for a sacrificial pit very quickly while he's producing gargoyles. Pretty much once you hit tier 2 and you're starting to make the gargoyles, you're going to send them straight to hell at the Night Elf's base, because he probably won't have like an ancient protector up yet, and he will still be putting up his lores and won't have any dryads out. You definitely have a lot of initiative when you are playing at this point versus Night Elf, because you can get your Gargs out a long time before he can get his Dryads out, which means you can just bully him around and piss him off. Also, he's going for Shades very quickly, and, Twisted Meadows is he's going at least a Sacrificial Pit. Twisted Meadows is a very big map, but Isis, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your Sacrificial Pit here?
Pretty much, you always want to get your Sacrificial Pit as soon as you get tier 2. At least that's my rule. People think I'm map hack because of this all the time.